When we last spoke about Horrorshow, we looked at Astray, one of the most popular tracks from their late night record, Bardo State. The whole album explores the push and pull of going through change, of coming to terms with morality, art, and love. The record blurs the lines between rapping and singing as Solo's vocals run smoothly into add its R&B style production. It's been 2 years since then, and the crew is back. The new single, Rescue, is the next step in the evolution of the sound of Horrorshow. The first thing you notice is the deep, melodic thrum. Late at night when I am lying wide awake is when I think of you. It's a summery and warm, poppy, energetic breakdown with tones of Drake's later work. For a 3-minute song that's mostly solo singing, it's not overly dense with a total of 416 words, 60 of which are repetitions. The tune tells the story of Solo and a paradoxical relationship. Someone or something he wishes he could stop wanting, but still craves.
And it's just tackling that topic straight up of like, you know, when you fucking want someone and you're thinking about them and it can take over your whole thoughts and your whole being, you know? And I feel like most people, you know, had some moment or period of time in their life when they had a feeling like that. Like, I know that people go through this shit and sometimes maybe they don't talk about it or it's a bit uncomfortable to talk about.
The song starts late at night with Solo admitting to wishing the subject of the song was there. The first verse features some heavy assonance, repeating a lot of W words and rhyming you and mood to create a sense of momentum. The first part of this verse creates the context that it's late at night. The second half tells us the girl or the subject of the story is likely gone or unreachable. Because this hold you've got on me is strong. Think that we both knew it all along. And I can't make it out here on my own. And so I roam. The slant rhymes between strong, along, and roam associates the relationship, or being with this person, as a good thing. Strong and along are generally quite positive words, but roam isn't necessarily. The meaning is quickly inverted as Solo can't make it without this person. Whatever this relationship is, it isn't necessarily healthy. To build on this idea, something else this verse does is it lets us know that the person involved is somehow complicit. I think that we both knew it all along. In some ways, the subject of the song is also part of this problem, or at least it's a reciprocal feeling. The attraction was created by two people, but really only binds one of them.
I think that we both knew it all along. I can't make it out here on my own. You know, there's a double meaning there of like, I can't make it, like I can't survive out here in the world alone. And like, I can't make it out here. I can't make it out of this room. I'm trapped in here. I can't make it out of this space on my own. You know, I need somebody's help to get me out of here, you know?
Yeah. The line-by-line assonance here mirrors the way the verses recontextualize the initial piece of information. They create this little feedback loop. And I don't know where I'm trying to go. I don't know where I'm trying to get to. I just know ain't nowhere that I could go, that I could try to forget you. For instance, in this line, Solo's saying there's nowhere I can go to forget you. And then in the next line, he says, but being alone is really difficult. Solitude ain't no friend of mine. Everything changed the day I met you. I gotta get you off my mind, and so before the morning. And suddenly the line before seems less sweet. It's almost like in the act of not being able to forget the person, that's what makes him lonely. This line reinforces one of the key ideas of the song, this idea of being able to go anywhere, but being trapped within a feeling or within your own imagination. It's a concept explored throughout the track itself, and it tries to access the paradoxical desire for something, despite knowing it's probably bad for you. The language Solo chooses, like hold and can't make it, draw an imagery of entrapment or ensnarement. Despite being free, you can still be trapped within a craving. It's almost a darker way of discussing things that are normally fairly sexualized in hip-hop. It's more about the emotion of this feeling rather than the
pure sexual desire, the act, or the need itself. Just before the chorus, Solo gives us a time frame. Before the morning does. This creates an immediacy and an intensity to his desire that's fairly new in their music. Even in Never Say Never or She, some of the more sexualized songs, this is the first time that we feel like it's present. It's not just a long-form emotion about sex, it's a current, urgent need.
The intensity of that getting more and more and more to the point where you feel like you're gonna fucking lose your shit. You know what I mean?
Let's contrast it against that idea of like roaming and like, doesn't matter where I go, I can't like escape. It's like,
exactly.
It's like the wrong kind of freedom. It's like that bad freedom where you can go anywhere you want, but being alone, like, because you're alone there, it's not. You're still trapped in that space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The chorus is both an injunction to action and a sort of admission of giving up or confirming that you can't do it by yourself. The chorus uses repetition of the same lyrics in place of rhymes. This seems to mirror the feeling of being stuck in these sort of cycles or these sort of relationships, begging to be saved but knowing that when daylight comes, it'll all seem a little silly and go back to being a dull ache. Whether it's addiction, obsession, or being trapped in a cycle you don't want, this feeling is always pervasive, but it's worst late at night.
Just sit there and fucking toss and turn and go over and over this thing in your mind and be kind of consumed by it. That's to me like something that if you're in this kind of situation that I'm describing in this song, like that's when it would happen to you, you know, in the middle of the night when you're alone, and you know, and that's when people fucking booty call each other and text each other like, hey, what are you doing? And you know what I mean? Like that's when that shit happens. Like,
then the bridge kicks in, returning to the ideas of the first verse, drawing us back into the present.
'Cause I've been waiting, trapped inside, no escaping, the four walls of my imagination.
Trapped inside, no escaping, the four walls of my imagination. This is a direct tie into the first verse, where Solo says, won't you come inside? Now it's clear that both have a double meaning. Despite the freedom to roam anywhere, you can still feel like you're stuck in your own thoughts, like the desire can box you in, and no matter where you go, those walls are still there. And what follows leans toward that darkness or that less than savory kind of emotion that goes along with this.
There's only one cure for this craving, and I need saving. Won't you come to my rescue?
Only one cure for this craving. It's almost like this is a need or an illness or a problem to be solved. It's not romantic or exciting. It's a requirement. With the directionless roaming and this intense need, you can imagine the feeling of being lost and listless while also being consumed by desire for someone. And the intensity of it being late at night just grows until it takes over your entire being.
I need this to happen right fucking now. You know, like I can't wait till tomorrow or next week or whatever. Like, before the morning does, like tonight, I need you to get here.
It's that like immediacy that and I think maybe that's part of why this song feels a bit more like intimate, if that's the word that we're gonna use. Like it feels more intimate for that reason, I think, because it's that urgent, like I need this to happen. Like it's not like this distant longing or whatever. It's like that immediate craving of like this. I just need that fixed now.
It's really uncomfortable and strange to talk about even after the fact. So it's fitting the song is so warm and summery. It helps you ease into this darker, less savory side of emotions and lets you acknowledge that even when you feel something that you want, it may not be healthy. This draws on a lot of the themes throughout Horrorshow's work, and particularly Nick's writing: control, love, desire, and being trapped within your own thoughts.
I guess these are just the things that fucking go round and round in my brain and have ever since I was a teenager. So that's why they keep repeating and coming back across the records, is because I used making these songs as a way of sorting through what's on my mind. Often before I even, like, making the songs helps crystallize for me what's going on in my fucking brain.
Come to my rescue. Come to my rescue. Come to my rescue. Come to my
The song, of course, wraps up with Solo revisiting the end of the first verse, then we loop back to the start of the track. Whether or not you like the sonics or you're uncomfortable with the subject matter, it's always refreshing and rewarding to hear artists you like challenge themselves and explore new concepts. Rescue might be the first step in this new journey for Horrorshow, but it's a continuation of what they've always done, and I couldn't be more excited to see where this road takes us. Special thanks to Solo for sitting down to talk with me about this song. If you want to see more of this, you can watch my video on Astray, or just check out more of our stuff. Go buy Horrorshow's music and listen to their new single, Rescue.